I'm like, dooby dooby doo, where are you? Oh, thank you, Karina. Hi, Sky. I just put it in Chelsea's Discord. I did have my hair up, but I was like, yeah, meh. It's gonna take a straightener to it, and I said, nah. I was like, nah, to a lot of things. I did my makeup today though, and nobody accused me of being a clown, so that's always good. Can y'all hear me okay? Apparently, the neighbors have water issues, so they shut our water off again today for tonight for 15 minutes. So if you hear like a drill or banging, that's because they're working on our neighbors. Sweet. That makes me so happy. Thank you, Karina. I love you, bestie. Much love. So, what do you guys want to talk about tonight? I'm down for anything, like it said in the description. Karina needed the week off. She has a lot to process. So I said, okay, bitch. It's too hot in here. I've got my candles going and it's hot in here. You got it, dude. Hey, who knows? I probably will end up needing a week off one of these days with all of the appointments. Wednesday is going to be hell for me. Hey, Christy. My ends are still purple. My roots are still purple, but the middle is red still. So I haven't figured out what I want to do with it and how much dye I need. My mom says do nothing, but this is annoying me. When it's pulled back, you really can't tell. What's this? Ah, no, I don't need that. No, you're good. You are absolutely fine. I used to do this all the time, and now, because I don't do the kind of content I used to, because I was an asshole, um, I don't do that kind of thing anymore, where it's like bitching and complaining and bringing people out and calling people out. Not great for me, so I don't do it anymore. But I do like to call out some scams, MLMs, which are the same thing. Um, Once I get everything situated and figured out with my channel, that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to be more commentary than anything. Kind of like Chelsea and Erin and Julie Joe, calling out MLMs, of course, but letting people know about general scams. Like Christy's great because she works at a bank, if you guys don't know. Um, and she gets these emails that she'll post on her Instagram stories about different telephone scams. Hi, Avery. And so I'll repost them because it's one, people need to know. Two, the new scams are so intricate and these scammers go above and beyond. And it's disgusting how they take advantage of people. And it's not just the elderly anymore that they're targeting. They're targeting people my age, for fuck's sake. Because they'll have a legit phone number. They'll spoof a bank's phone number. They will act like your bank. Yes, I watched Isabella's video, and my son is the exact opposite. He wants to be on here. He wants to be on Instagram. He wants to be on Twitter. But it broke my heart to see that child telling her no, and she didn't listen. Just because they're little does not mean they don't have a choice. My mom does the same thing. She'll have Sean answer. No, thank you for sharing them, Christy. People need to know. It's gonna piss you off, Karina. I'm not gonna lie. When you get to that part, it's gonna light your fuse, and you're gonna. It broke my heart, and I got so angry. It's like your child is telling you no. Your child's telling you no. Just like if Sean doesn't want to give my dad a kiss goodnight, he'll say, I don't want to. And I don't make him, and neither does my dad. They'll do a fist bump, high five, hug, whatever. But I don't make him do things like that make him uncomfortable. Hi, Crystal. It was so bad. He was hiding his face. He was going like this. Please, no, 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 get off. I don't want to be on Instagram. I don't want to be on Instagram. And she goes, it's not Instagram. It's TikTok. Coming from a child psychology standpoint, that messes with kid decision making. It's like, well, if I make this decision, people aren't going to listen to me anyway, so why bother? Yes, Avery. Kids are allowed to have their own boundaries and for us to accept them. Now, if it's completely outlandish, of course I'm going to put a kibosh on it. But if it's within reason, why the hell not? Right? Mentally, it messes with their head. And they think that they're not allowed to set boundaries, that they're not allowed to say no, they're not allowed to be upset. And that creates trauma. I'm trying to have as little trauma to Sean as possible because he already goes through so much. I'm not even going to get into it. Avery says if they don't want to do something, they shouldn't be forced to. And then Karina said, Leo, even before he talked, if he backed away or shook his head no, it was no. Exactly. See, I say unfortunately because I'm trying to protect Sean. He wants to put himself out there. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, you're trying to grow up way too fast. Let's slow it down a little bit. Because I told him once when he was 5 that he could get a YouTube channel when he was 13. Because that's the age you have to be on YouTube. And then I thought about it, and it's like, he can't have informed consent at 13. I can't have that conversation with him. He won't understand. So it's like, do I allow him to have the channel at 13, or do I wait until I know he's ready for informed consent? Hi, Carrie. We're just talking about random things. Like right now we're talking about Isabella Lanter's video today. How there was a section where Top Leader was recording her child and he kept on saying no, and she did it anyway. Crystal said, I agree. They're more likely to grow up and not have boundaries because they were never allowed to have them. Yep. Yep. And then that puts them into years of therapy. I don't know if y'all heard that, but my mom made a good point. Every child has their own bubble, and it needs to be respected. There are some times where Sean doesn't want to kiss me, and it's like, and he'll give me a kiss on the cheek or a kiss on the forehead. And I accept that because that's what he's comfortable with. There are other days where he can't get enough physical affection. But he's also autistic, so it's literally a day-to-day thing. I am a mama bear when it comes to Sean. Ain't nobody getting anywhere near him to cause him trauma. My ex, their bonus mom, and I have been having this conversation, and none of us are creators. Using the first letter of their name, avoiding tons of pics posted. Exactly. Exactly, Carrie. I don't post pictures of Sean. When I get his school pictures, I send them out to friends and family. But it's the family I pick. And it's very selective as to who even gets a picture of Sean from his school pictures. And they post them online. You have to have a certain code in order to get in to get your student's picture, but they're still all available on the computer. And I don't like that. I don't have kids, but I make sure my nieces and nephews can kick ass. I'm a need you to fucking not. Exactly. Back the fuck up. Green says, I'm a Tia Bear too. Unless you want a Mexican can of whoop ass, I'm going to need you to fucking not. Exactly. I mean, our kindergarten girl was in a pic posted on their school's Facebook, but we have definitely locked down. It's one of those things. I signed the release for him to have pictures taken at school for them to be posted. And so far in the 4 years he's been there, he hasn't had any pictures posted of him. One second, guys. Sorry about that, y'all. John came in. Carrie says, oh, even when I snag sewing pattern inspiration pics, I crop faces even if they're actual pics from the company's testers, etc. For me, if I were to post a picture on, let's say, Instagram of Sean, it would be from the back. It would be from the back. I would not show his face. And it's not because I don't want to show him off. He is absolutely adorable. And for those of you who have known me for a long time, you know what he looks like. But there are people that creep my Instagram, my Facebook, trying to get pictures of Sean. And those are the people that I don't want them to have them. They're not in his life. They don't need to know what he looks like. They're not in his life. They don't need pictures of him. Why, if you're not going to have communication with him, why do you need a picture of him? It's as simple as that. I mean, you've got people that make lists, you know, the P word that we're not allowed to say on YouTube, that make playlists of certain things that kids do just because they're kids and they get off on it. That's another thing I'm trying to avoid. Avery says, I don't even post pictures of my dog on social media other than to close friends and family on Facebook. It just feels weird. Thank you, Karina. He is quite cute. And if things were different with my extended family and his father, I would probably show him a little bit more on Facebook and Instagram, and even on here, let him pop on and say hello. But I can't do that because I have creepers literally trying to get pictures of him. Grace says, I post Leo, but don't know one want that heat. My husband is chill until you mess with Leo. I'm chill until you mess with Leo. It's that simple. I can't get over Isabella's video where that woman, and I use that term loosely, allowed her child to feel so uncomfortable that he was almost in tears because he didn't want to be online. He didn't want a camera in his face. There are days where I don't want a camera in my face. And I'm 41 years old, bro. Sky says, you and I differ there, Avery. I'll exploit my cat, but honestly, I don't post her anywhere that often. I mean, pets are different in the sense that I love looking at floofs. I don't post my dogs or my cat. I'll show them on here if they come into the room so everybody gets floof break. But the reason why I say I don't want to post my pets is because they're purebred dogs and I'm afraid someone's going to come in and steal them. As stupid as that sounds. Carrie says there are places to control who can see pics, etc. Tiny Beans is a good one. I'll have to check that out. That video should be shown as part of a damned class about sharing your kids' information. Well, here's the thing. You've got these influencers who are legit making money off of their kids. Like, let's take the Ace family, for example, because let's face it, they're trash. Literally would not have a channel if it weren't for their kids. Avery says, I just don't want to feel like I'm overexposing my dog. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense because you're super protective of your pet. Like I said, I'm afraid my dogs will get stolen. As overprotective as that sounds, I am super afraid my dogs are going to get stolen if I post them too much online. But if you take the Ace family, and as much as I hate to say it, the East family with Sean Johnson and Andrew East, it used to be just the two of them. As soon as she had a child, it became about the kids. And I unsubscribed. I will not subscribe to anyone who exploits their children for money. I just won't do it. It goes against my ethics and my morals. Sky says, of course, Avery, it's up to you where or when you post pictures of your pets. Exactly. But Ace family, don't even get me started on those scumbags. Not paying people, getting sued left, right, and center, denying that they had a foreclosure, and waiting till the very last minute to make sure that their children had a roof over their head. Karina says, protect them babies and floops at all costs. Crystal says, it's funny. I just posted my fiance a couple months ago after being together for over 3 years because I feel if you aren't in my life, then there's no need to see him. Prime example. Why? Here's a question for all of you. I just post pictures of my makeup and my selfies for the most part. I don't post activities that I do or places that I go or food that I eat. I don't do any of that. So what is the draw of posting everything about your life, especially on Instagram? I mean, they're snapshots. They're the best moments of your life, right? It's a highlight reel. There's a difference between being a proud parent and someone who's trying to exploit their children for money. That's the way I feel about it. Jessica Kelgren Fozard and her wife shared every moment of their son's life without ever showing his face. Back of his head or online stickers cover it. There you go. Carrie says, I say every moment, but more the happy moments, if that makes sense. Outfits, toys, etc. Well, that's the safe way to do it, Karina. Hold on 1 second. Oh, it's a reel. Okay. See, I don't even post places that I go. It's like, not only is it a safety issue, right? But what is the draw for complete strange? Why do you post it for complete strangers to take in? Is it because you want to show and share the experience? Or is it to be more relatable, is what I'm trying to get at. Carrie says, when we get into the MLM part, the Huns really take it to a whole other level. Girl, who are you telling? These MLM hoes, and I'm going to call them that, will exploit a hot dog if it made them a sale or got them a recruit. So don't even get me started on how they treat their children. Crystal says, not places that I frequent, but a cute random place. Like, if I went somewhere really cool, I probably would take a picture or two and then post them to my Instagram way after I left. I'm sorry. Chelsea got that in my head with this line scale hoe. Now I do believe in parents sharing some of the struggles. There's something to be said for seeing how another parent approaches the situation. However, you can also act it out. Ha ha. Yes, that poor hot dog did suffer in life and death. And Karina said, I normally share just because I want that memory on my feed. Okay. I've always been curious about that because it's never been my bag. But I guess if I want to grow my Instagram, I have to show different parts of my life. And I have no problem talking about my struggles as a single parent, especially a single parent of a special needs child. I have no problem answering questions or talking about the struggles I've had. That could be a whole other life. But I don't know. It's just one of those things that Sean's already growing up so fast, right? He's 9. He's going to be 10 in April. How far is too far? Like, will I probably share a picture of him on his 10th birthday on my Instagram stories? Probably. Probably because it's his 10th birthday. It's the double digit birthday. When I was growing up, the double digit birthday was a huge deal. So we're going to try to make it a huge deal. Okay, so Carrie said, I actually did not entirely embrace the possibility of A's behavior being concerning until I saw a video of certain behavior. I had just assumed it was a quirk and typical. That's the thing. Sometimes when you just see it in your child and you don't see it anywhere else, you just think it's a quirk or a personality trait. I denied in my head for the longest time that Sean was autistic. But it was until I was faced with it with him going to school that I kept him out for an extra year to work on his social skills. So that way he would talk more. That way he would try to attempt to make eye contact. That he would try to relate better with his peers. And it was a mistake. I made a huge mistake. I should have sent him to school. Because the school decided, because he was 6, that he needed to be in first grade instead of kindergarten. Back where I come from, Massachusetts, as long as they're in school by 6, you can put them in kindergarten or first grade. What should be our next episode, babe? It really is a razor sharp edge, Carrie. It really is. And you're walking a very, 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 very tight line. And it's hard. I had to learn how to physically restrain my child. Okay, we can do that. I have no problem doing that. I figure it's education. Excuse me. But only if you're ready. If you're not ready, then we don't talk about it. Carrie says their bonus mom became a huge advocate because her preschool teacher was denying it. Amanda has an older child and would point out what we could not see. Unfortunately, but fortunately, my other best friend back in Massachusetts, she has a child. He's not a child anymore, but he has special needs. He has autism. And I had to learn from that and go back and remember what it was like when he was Sean's age and compare. And I could no longer deny it. All right, hold on 1 second. Sean's going to bed. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so I'm back. Sean needed to go to bed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, Jess. I'm so happy we got an A into Easter Seal on Wednesday. That is amazing, Carrie. That is amazing. And Avery, it is all about education. I can't stress it enough. Like, okay, prime example. When I got Sean diagnosed as formerly autistic, we had suspicions for years, but I avoided getting the actual diagnosis because I didn't want to admit it. His own father, if we want to call him that, compared him to Rain Man. I won't put that comment up, Karina. My perspective of my entire childhood has changed 180 degrees now that I know what autism entails. And it's you can have two autistic children in the family and they'd be completely different. One child, like Sean's food aversions, he eats 13 foods. We counted 13, and no fruit, no veg at all. So we're working on that in occupational therapy, along with our fine motor skills, so that way he's able to write well. But that's what makes me nervous about posting him online, because people can be so mean, right? The trolls can be so vile that I would hate for them to judge Sean based on that. Does that make sense? Sky, we call him other things other than the donor, but for YouTube, we'll call him the donor. But around here, we call him other things. And Karina knows. So there's that. Just saying. Oh, babe, I'm there for you. My other best friend was there for me. I'll be there for you. Just says, I was going to go to school to become a special ed teacher, but decided to work for higher education instead. But I did my bachelor's research capstone type project on early intervention. How did that go? A capstone on early intervention is a lot. Yeah, hubby's got a special name for him. Dios mío. Yeah. And Sean's got a different word for him because, well, that's another story for a different day. Yes, Christine, we have other words. That's amazing. Girl, I'm going to tell you this right now. Take advice with a grain of salt. Because what might work for one child may not work for Leo. And it might. You never know. But now that you're putting it out there publicly, you're going to get a bunch of unsolicited advice. I'm just going to tell you. When I came online after I was diagnosed bipolar, and Sean was shortly there before. Was it before or after? After. Shortly after, diagnosed with ADHD and autism. Unsolicited advice from everywhere. Carrie says, once A had the educational diagnosis, both Amanda and I joined Autism Inclusivity on Facebook, and it has been absolutely eye-opening. A lot of helpful autistic and ADHD adults there. I'll have to look that up. Jess said it was specifically about cerebral palsy because it had to be more focused, but I totally support early intervention. I started early intervention at like a month old. That's perfect. Yes, Carrie. Thank you. Autism Speaks is the literal devil of the autism community. I used to be a huge proponent of Light It Up Blue. I went out and got blue light bulbs. I participated in walks. And then I realized who and what they supported. And it was disgusting. Let's just put it like that. Illuminati did a piece on Autism Speaks. And it wasn't the first time I heard the information. It was the way she presented it that fired me up even more. Crystal says, I've heard that. I thought it was great. And then I started looking into it and yikes. Yeah. That's to say the least. Love the protective language, Jess. Fuck Autism Speaks, allegedly, from what I've been told. No, I'll just say it straight up. Fuck Autism Speaks. Straight up. I'll say it from the rooftop. Fuck Autism Speaks. Carrie says, even before I had my kids, I had a lot of autistic friends who educated me. That's perfect. And with any type of disability, there's a lot of people who don't know this because it's something that is becoming more prevalent, and that's putting the person before the disability. So a lot of people use the disability as a descriptor to try to point out and figure out who a person is. So let's say Tron, for example, the diabetic kid instead of the kid with diabetes. Make sense? I'll have to do my research. I didn't know about that. Christy, it's bad. It's really, really bad. The puzzle piece was completely, yes, I saw Jess's video and I cried. Because when Sean was first diagnosed, I joined that group. That was the first group I ever joined. And I got a yucky feeling about it, so I left. I didn't do any research into it. I just followed my gut. And it was just yucky feeling. Karina says, I'm working with a team of professionals and some friends who I know that have Leo's best interest at heart. Absolutely. Carrie says, see, there are two sides to that because some adults prefer not using person with autism. I have yet to run into anybody. Now, it could be my limited scope of disabled people, but every disabled person, like my mom included, because she's disabled, prefers the person first because they are not their disability. So I know that there are proponents for both. It's just that it's becoming larger and a lot of people don't know. Put that up there. Jessica Hickson's video. Yeah. I'll try, if I remember to go back and change the description, I'll try to link Jessica Hickson's video and Illuminati's video if I can find them. Jessica says, yeah, Carrie, some people don't prefer first person language. See, Jess, I've always wanted to ask you, do you prefer, I mean, I'm going to call you Jess. I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, the girl with cerebral palsy or the cerebral palsy chick, because you're my friend, so I'll call you Jess. But are you a person first or are you a disability first? Carrie says, yeah, there are very, very strict rules within that autism inclusivity group that person with autism is not to be used. Really? Good to know. Because I would hate to offend somebody. It's just that every disabled person I've talked to would prefer to be known as the person first, not their disability. And I can see both sides of it because technically I'm disabled. And I would hate to be described as a bipolar chick with fibromyalgia. Because that's not who I am. I'm Tanya. Karina says, I'm not going to advertise Leo's conditions, but if necessary, I will communicate it. Abso-freaking-lutely. Carrie says, because one does not use that term them always, if that makes sense. That's true. I've just seen people use it and people get offended. I've just seen person first becoming more prevalent. Jessica says, person first, just because I think my cerebral palsy is not the most interesting thing about me. No, if you guys are not following Jess on Instagram, her reels are freaking lit. They are fire. They are so funny. Auntie Lushy on Instagram. My nails aren't long enough to click, but I did them. Aw, thank you, Christy. I'll probably stay on till like 9:30 because I don't want to keep you guys up too late. So what else do you guys want to talk about? Put that up too, so people know about Jess and her preferences. And if you guys are not following Karina, Karina's been doing small updates about her fitness journey on Instagram, and they're fire. Just saying. And please subscribe to her channel. She's my cohort on Mondays, and I miss her. I'm pretending she's sitting here. One of these days we're gonna get together and do a live one. Just saying. Kind of like what Julie, Joe, and Aaron did. If it didn't violate, if there are certain people who were mods, want to put up, if you've got a wrench, go ahead and put up your links for Instagram or your social media. It doesn't bother me if you guys self-promote on nights like this where it's just chill. That's a big lunch, girl. Christy, I usually go to bed early too. This is past my bedtime, not gonna lie. I'm usually taking my meds, ready for bed, makeup off, hair up, ready for bed by 9 o'clock. I even have a snack that I haven't partook into yet. But my mom was craving these earlier, so I went over and bought them because I'm a good daughter. Crystal, that's awesome. Thank you. But Karina's fire, and she's going to create the most bomb Spanish content. You guys aren't even ready for it. You're not, because it's going to be fire. Christy says, I just post fitness and hilarious memes at Christy82 on Instagram. Lately, I have a freaking Zoom meeting every morning at 8. Ugh. You got to go to bed early, too. I have to be up by 5:30 for Sean to eat. And then Christy says, sometimes I'll post scam-related content, but I'm just here to support. Christy, I swear, if you were to ever start doing content, you hoes wouldn't be ready. You wouldn't. Because Christy finds the most lit memes. She posts about scams, especially the ones that she gets from her job. She reposts just about everybody just to get the word out there. She is such a supportive person that if you're not following Christy, please do, because she is an inspiration. I was talking to Karina tonight, and I was talking to my mom about it. I think starting in October, this is a maybe, my butt's going to start going to the gym. What do y'all think? I wasn't going to talk about it because I don't want to speak it into existence and then it falls through for October. You know what I mean? I love you too, Christy. She's my mod BFF. I have a cam link so I can go live on YouTube now. Yeah, buddy. That's awesome. Hi, DC. Oh my God, manifestation. Sky. We're going to be some mentally stable motherfuckers. Hell yeah, we are. It's just, I want to get healthy, but I want to do it my way. Because the last time I lost a lot of weight, I talked about this in the video that I posted weeks ago because I'm inconsistent with content. I kind of remind myself of Jessie Smiles because she comes back like once a year. But I lost a shit ton of weight with P90X, had no clue it was Beachbody. Wasn't until I started following Cheryl and Amy and Amber and watching DC's lives with all of those girls that I realized that I was sucked into Beachbody. But this was back before it was all DVDs. And I would randomly get emails asking if I wanted to join a team or an accountability group. And I would just think it was junk, so I would just delete it. Carrie says, sending you a link on Discord for when you have a free moment, but I gotta go to bed. Tonic, girls, coffee house, and internet date tomorrow. You gotta tell me all about it. So you have a good night's sleep. Get your beauty sleep, girl. And remember, moisturize, 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 and browse. Jessica says, I'm trying to manifest a new relationship with my new neighbor because she teaches cycling classes. That's funny. Crystal says, I have P90X DVDs that I took from my sister 5 years ago. The workouts were great. Not going to lie. The workouts kicked my ass. And I was consistent with it. But the diet was so restrictive and I didn't realize it. And I showed my doctor what I was doing. And he said it was fine because I have a problem with food. I'm a recovering anorexic and bulimic. And I also overeat. I eat my feelings. So I have a huge problem with food. So it's not about changing my diet right now. It's more about getting my body moving, even though it hurts. I don't use them, but the fact that I have them is hilarious. It is hilarious. That's so funny. The workout's great. It kicks your ass. But I can't keep going like this and not try. Because I want to be around a long time for Sean. I want to get healthy for me. Because I'm not sleeping well. I try to eat at least twice a day, if not 3 times. But I have a major problem with food. When I start exercising, I don't restrict myself. I restrict my calories, which I guess is a good thing. You know, calorie deficit, and move your body, you're going to lose weight. And I carry my weight around the middle, which is extremely dangerous for the pancreas, and it could cause type 2 diabetes. So, we don't want that in this house because we already have a diabetic here. We don't need another one. The one thing I'm going to have a hard time giving up, and it probably won't give it up, is this. I think I'm just going to stick to canned soda instead of getting these huge cups of soda. But I am truly, 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 truly addicted to Dr. Pepper. But thanks to Erin and Karina and Christy, it's been in my head and bugging me. Not bugging me, but like little voice back here. Get back in the gym. Get back in the gym. Because my arms are weak, but my legs are strong. So I know. So I know that I can do it. Chris says, I don't want my son to deal with what I dealt with my dad-in-law. I can do better than that for him. Me too. Crystal says, I do canned soda and I have cut down to 2 a day. I used to drink 2 liters a day. Oh my gosh. I thought I was bad. I'll never let go of coffee. And Christy says, that's a good start, Tanya. Don't restrict. Just do a little less. Yes. Thank you, Christy. Nagging. It's been nagging at me. Now, I have a gym here at the complex, but the bike is a sit down, like you're actually like sat down bike. The treadmill is all right. I hate walking on a treadmill. I feel like a hamster. And then the weights are like a Bowflex. And I can't do those types of machines. I have to have single-use machines to do what I want to do. Karina says, I control my tortilla intake so I can eat chocolate. Hell yeah. Like right now, I want to eat them Cheetos. But I'm going to have a handful and then put them away. I had a bunch of grapes, though. Like, a bunch of grapes. I brought the bag in. My mom and I ate half the bag. So, that was a healthy snack, right? Here we go. Healthy snack. It is all about balance. It really is. And I've got to learn how to eat again and have it be a regular thing. Because I used to starve myself and make myself throw up. I don't really have the hunger pains that you get when you really haven't eaten. You know how when people get hangry, their stomach hurts, the whole nine? I'll get hangry, but I don't get the stomach pain. So if I'm been super busy, I will legitimately forget to eat. So I have to set reminders like Cheryl does. I have to, like yesterday, I had to think about the last time I ate, which is not good. Because Karina's been on me about eating. And then Karina says, I switched my creamer to sugar-free and white bread to whole wheat, little stuff like that. See, I don't use white bread for Sean, because Sean's supposed to be gluten-free, right? Because he's got celiac disease. Have you ever had gluten-free bread? That shit is nasty. It tastes like fucking cardboard. So, if I won't eat it, I'm not forcing him to eat it. So, I give him honey wheat. I figure it's a lot better than bleached white bread. At least he's getting some nutrients from the wheat. But unfortunately, it does mess with his stomach and his intestines. And his endocrinologist is on me about getting him on a gluten-free diet. And I told the endocrinologist, great, yeah, I would love to get him on a GF diet. You want to come to my house and make him eat? Ooh, frying chicken. Yum, yum, yum. I ate an entire meatball sub today. Mistakes were made. No, that's not a mistake. That sounds delicious. Christy says, oh boy, when I'm hungry, everyone else is miserable until I'm fed. Even small meals. I can't eat big meals. Eat small portions throughout the day. See, that's what I was doing when I was on P90X. I would snack throughout the day. That's what I had to do when I was pregnant. So what really scared me was the fact that I was still restricting my food when I was pregnant in the beginning because I was getting sick all the time. So I would eat when I wouldn't be nauseous. And that ended up being like, I think, six small meals a day. But I was still following the P90X diet without even realizing it. Karina, you just reminded me of my chicken that's cooking. I'm so wrapped up in this conversation. Oh, you got sick? I'm sorry. It's 1 portion for me, 1.5 portions for babe. That's good. Tons of veggies will go with it. Oh, that sounds so good. See, I bake chicken most of the time, or I put chicken in a crock pot. We eat a lot of chicken around here because it's cheap, but it scared me when I realized that I was restricting myself when I was first pregnant. I was still following the diet, um, because I didn't want to get fat. No joke. My mom thinks this is funny. I hit my goal weight and my goal pant size and the goal that I wanted my body to look like. 3 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. 3 weeks. I got to enjoy the fruits of my labor for 3 weeks. When people would tell me I was really tiny when I was pregnant, when I first started to show, and I started to show early because I was so thin. So when people would tell me I was so tiny, I would look in the mirror and I would see a beluga whale. That's when I realized, holy shit, I've got body dysmorphia. Because I saw myself as a way, way, way bigger size than I actually was. I got down to a size 6 and 132 pounds. And that was my goal weight. My goal weight was 135, but I lost an extra 3. Because that was the weight that my doctor and I had discussed that I should get down to avoid diabetes, heart disease, the whole 9. Was between 135 and 145 pounds because of my height and the way that my body type is. So when I found out I was pregnant, I immediately started, prenatal vitamins, folic acid, the whole 9, calcium supplements, you name it. My mom is funny, but I still restricted my diet. It wasn't until I went to a weigh-in at 6 months when he was just a little itty bitty basketball I was carrying around, but my hips were killing me because I was standing on concrete. I was working at Home Depot, and the OB, because I was in a group setting for OBGYN, and it was a crapshoot as to who was going to be there on delivery day. So you met all the doctors, so you could kind of figure out and hope for one. I went into labor the day that I was supposed to go in for my checkup for 40 weeks. I went into labor that day. But they told me I needed to gain another 10 pounds in order for them to be comfortable. And when I heard that, they might as well told me I had to gain 100 pounds. I was flipping out because I just worked so hard. You know what I mean? Yeah, Crystal, don't let your chicken burn. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, guys, you guys are going to hold me accountable. So if I don't join a gym, I have set a step goal for 2,000 steps a day. It was 1,000. I was blowing it out of the water, so I increased it by another 1,000. Today, I potatoed and didn't do it. I barely walked. But on the plus side, my mom is wanting to walk Sean to the bus stop every morning, which is a lot. It's a long walk for her, because her muscles have atrophied so much, and she made it there and back, and she's got that good kind of sore where it was like exercise sore, not back pain sore. Thanks, Karina. It's okay. It was in the oven on low, and it just got nice and crispy, actually. Sweet. I love a nice crispy skin on chicken. Mwah, chef's kiss. Love it. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we sign off? Because it's just about 9:30. I know. I was so proud of her, Crystal. Like, I gave her a high five, everything. I was so proud of her. And this was her idea. And she wants me, obviously, because I take Sean to the bus stop every morning. But she wanted me there because I help take care of her. And I'm like her second leg. So she leans on me when it's kind of bad. I told her we'll start out every other day, give her a rest day, and then do it again. Give her a rest day and do it again. Oh yeah, like my stream. I gotta like my own stream. There we go. Thank you, Christy. But yeah, I think I'm probably gonna end up joining Planet Fitness because they're cheap. Thank you, Crystal. But this was a great live, you guys. We got to do these more often with Karina where we just hang out and chill and just chat. Just chat, chit chat, and talk shit. And talk about important things and talk about serious things and talk about funny things and throw in some MLMs and scams and all kinds of things because God knows more people need to know about it. Done, boss. I am not your boss. Stop it. I had a blast. This was a lot of fun. Time went by really fast. I just don't want these to go past an hour. One, because I got to go to bed. That's first and foremost. Two, Christy's got to go to bed because Christy gets up early. And I know a lot of you have other things to do. DC likes to go live late. And sometimes I catch them because I'm an insomniac. But I could never do overnight streams. I like my bed too much to do that. The hoops are coming out. We're getting deconstructed here, folks. Let's see. Gotta put Monkey Man to bed. Good night. Night, bestie. Sleep is very important. Sky, not me. LOL, night owl. Oh, that's right. You're on the West Coast. I keep on forgetting that you are in the beautiful state of Washington, which I gotta visit one day. Like Maniac Mommy Mondays, we're still trying to figure out a time that works best for everybody. Leo goes to bed a little bit later than Sean. Sean goes to bed by 9. But there's other usually, and we want to do them on Mondays because there's nobody else really streaming on Mondays. So we figured Maniac Mommy Monday we can do. We just got to figure out a time that works best. So we're still working out the kinks on that. But one day I want to eventually turn it into a podcast. I think that would be really cool. Okay, bye. But no, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. It was the best. We needed this. I needed this. Not next week, the week after. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about some spooky stuff. I'm going to look up some Monations things and see what's going on with that. Look up what Elamir's doing, what Awaken's doing. I'm going to do all that research and see what's going on with them so that way we have topics to talk about, not next week, the week after. But yeah, it was a great live, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was great. It was fun. I had a blast. Thank you for coming so much. It's much appreciated. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you are subscribed, hit that bell button and double check because Karina, when she went to go to my channel, YouTube unsubscribed her from me. So make sure you're subscribed. With that being said, y'all, thank you so much for coming and have a great week. We'll chat soon. Bye.